So now let's talk about some best practices. When we're naming files, if we have a situation where we need 2 words inside of the file name, these are the best ways to go about it. So in this case, I want to create a page called About Us. One way to go about it is I could write about and then use an underscore and then write us and then the extension .html. Another way to go about it is called camel notation, which is the word about is all lowercase, the first word all lowercase, and then every additional word is capitalized. So in this case, us has a capital U. Things to stay away from: outside of underscores, hyphens, and periods, you don't want to use any special characters. So don't put question marks in your file names, don't put spaces in your file names. They should all be formatted either with an underscore, capitalization. Another thing to talk about when it comes to best practices, let's learn how to name some of the special characters that we use inside the code. I have this list over here of double quotes, backticks, single quotes, parentheses, angle braces, square braces, curly braces, as well as some of their short names. And here's an example of how they're used inside of this gray box over here. So I highly recommend that you get familiar with the names of these things because we will be using them a lot. These special characters come in sets, and there is an opening version and a closing version of each character. All the opening versions are the ones that you see on the left, so these over here, and all the closings are the ones that are on the right. So if I say that I want to use an opening paren, then I mean that I'm talking about this character over here. Meanwhile, if I say that I want to use a closing angle brace, then I'm using this character over here. And as you can see in the script, if I were to use a closing angle brace in this spot, that could actually break my script. So you want to be sure about what these naming conventions are for these special characters. So now let's talk about the code editor. The code editor that we will be using in here is Phoenix Code. I like Phoenix Code. I've been using it since it was called Brackets. That said, any code editor that you want to use, feel free to use it. So if you are familiar with Visual Studio, if you're familiar with Atom, if you just want to use Dreamweaver or Notepad, you can use any of those. It's perfectly fine. But if you haven't decided on a code editor, then feel free to use Phoenix Code. And here are the links so that you could access it. You have 2 choices when it comes to Phoenix Code. You could either download it or you could run it straight on your browser. I've downloaded it because there are plugins that I want to be able to use, but if you want to just use it on your browser and not install anything, you could do that too.